Gandhi's Bharat Jodo Yatra has entered Maharashtra, but what is the political consequence of this journey? On the broadcast today, a special See Voter tracker actually tabulates what the political impact is of this journey. I'm Barkha, you're with the Mojo story. On the program today, we're doing a deep dive into Rahul Gandhi's Bharat Jodo Yatra that has gone through several of the southern states, is entering Maharashtra, but has in fact skipped the poll-bound states of Gujarat and Himachal Pradesh. Yet the Yatra could be having a ripple effect even in these states. Is there empirical data that can tell us one way or the other? Most people agree that the images out of the Bharat Jodo Yatra have in fact been positive for Rahul Gandhi. He's probably got better headlines than he has in years, as images of him walking with citizens, often holding on to elderly people and being playful with young children, do dominate at least the social media headlines. But do any of these images translate into a real improvement as far as the political perception of him is concerned? We all may have anecdotal, normative, and subjective opinions, but what does the data tell us? What about Prime Minister Modi's unpopularity? And what about the third contender, especially in the poll-bound states of Gujarat and Himachal Pradesh, Arvind Kejriwal? Well, as I said on this special broadcast today, for the first time, the See Voter survey tracks the impact of the Bharat Jodo Yatra, not just before and after the Yatra and the states it's traveled through, but in fact, perceptions about Rahul Gandhi right from before the Lok Sabha elections of 2019. I've had a lot of fun and learned a lot going through this data, and I'm sure so will you. So let's introduce our guest right away on the program. Joining us from Gujarat today is Satyan Kulabkar. He's the senior leader of the BJP based in Vadodara. Thank you, Satyanji. Also joining us is Yashwant Deshmukh, our favorite psephologist. This is See Voter's data. See Voter has also recently done an updated opinion poll with ABP in the poll-bound states. So Yashwant has a lot to explain to us, and we have a lot to learn from him. Also joining us is senior journalist Varun Singh, political analyst and commentator from the Congress. We are joined by its spokesperson, Meeta Chakrabarti. Good to see you, Meeta. And Dr. Shruti Kapila, professor at Cambridge University, is with us. So great panel. And Yashwant, I'm going to soon hand it over to you. But what I'm going to do is actually first call for what your tracker says in the states of the south, which is basically we're looking at Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Karnataka, and Telangana. So this is the kind of questions that Yashwant actually put forth. How was Rahul Gandhi's popularity or perception, satisfaction rather? That was the question. Are you satisfied with Rahul Gandhi? And this takes you a kind of graph before the Lok Sabha elections as of today. You can look there at Kerala. So before Lok Sabha, 68.8% was satisfied. Today, right after the Yatra, 64.5% are satisfied. So that's actually a marginal dip. So different states are actually throwing up different numbers. And you can see that before and after the Yatra, though, there's an immediate improvement. Then you come to Karnataka. Right before the Yatra, 56.5% was satisfied. As of today, 59.7%. Remember, Karnataka is going to be the next battlefield. So once again, a slender improvement in the satisfaction levels with Rahul Gandhi, especially when compared to right before the Yatra. And finally, in Telangana, where we've just seen the Congress in third position in the by-poll of Munugode, you once again have something similar, a slender improvement from right before the Yatra to as of today at 56%. Now, these are the four southern states, and I want to come out of these, go to Yashwant, and I'm sure Yashwant will take us through these slides again. So Yashwant, at a glance, something very curious emerges. Right before the Lok Sabha elections of 2019, Rahul Gandhi is actually there are more people satisfied with Rahul Gandhi than today. If you just did a blank comparison from before 2019 to 2022. But in the middle, his popularity nosedives. And the Yatra seems to have helped him to recover some ground. This is a very, very broad summary I've made. Please correct me, you know much more if I have summarized this correctly. Yashwant, go ahead first with what we see on the See Voter tracker in the four southern states.
Barkha, yes, you are absolutely broadly speaking, you are absolutely right. And we must tell the viewers how exactly it is done, because people get confused. Are we doing something special for right now? No, we do these trackers every day, 365 days a year. So what we have done, Barkha, is only to pull out the data on specific dates to see if there are any changes or not. And I have given in comparison to right before the Lok Sabha, that is the 1st January 2019 mark, as the benchmark or the base number where Rahul Gandhi stood, say, right before the Lok Sabha elections. Then I picked up the 1st of January this year. Then for each date, precisely the date when Yatra entered a particular state and precisely the date the Yatra ended in that particular state. And then I also picked up the data yesterday, actually, as on today, so that to check and confirm if that momentum has continued or lingered on, or right after the yatra went passed through the state, if there is a dip in the numbers again. So that's how, the broadly speaking, these numbers are.
So
And you can,
can I ask you to look at the four southern states again, just
yes, just pick up for
briefly? Yeah.
example, pick up the Tamil Nadu.
Let's go through the southern state slides again, please, and we'll
Exactly.
have
That is the first state where in Kanyakumari he started his yatra. So in Tamil Nadu, they see right before the Lok Sabha election, that is 62 point, almost 63%. And please remember, they got almost 37 out of the 39 seats in Lok Sabha, the DMK Congress combined. So this was really high. But that went down over a period of time, slightly about 59.6, not that kind of a down. So
yeah.
this also tells you that whatever the high momentum that DMK Congress alliance had in Tamil Nadu, it continued till the assembly election, and Barkha, it continues at this point of time, because even after the Yatra, the 63, it has gone up to 65. That means that momentum is continuing. So Tamil Nadu, for all practical purpose, is a safe haven as far as the
Now we have Kerala.
UPA
Now we have
is.
Kerala. Yeah.
Now you have Kerala. Kerala, look where he started and look where it dropped down. Before the Yatra, from a high of 69 to a down of 56, where it went down. And in between, we know that Congress lost the assembly elections in Kerala. That was a historic term for the left. But it started picking up right after the Yatra entered Kerala. And Rahul Gandhi is more or less precisely at a place where his high before the Lok Sabha elections in 2019 in Kerala happened. And please remember, the UPA won 19 out of the 20 Lok Sabha seats in Kerala. So yes, his numbers went down, but he has picked up in Kerala, and probably Kerala is again safe for him.
Yeah.
Very critical, very critical state of Karnataka. Before 2019 Lok Sabha election, it was 62. And please remember, the satisfaction includes very satisfied and somewhat satisfied. But that number crashed to almost 38 in 1st of January 2022. So from a high of 62 to crashing down to 38. And then the repairing starts. And right now he is, almost touching 60. Plus, please remember two things, Barkha, to remember over here. Even at the high of 62, the BJP got 26 out of 28 Lok Sabha seats in Karnataka. But I would consider these numbers encouraging for the Congress, for a simple reason that we are looking at a very polarized assembly election coming up within the next 6 months, actually in March or April. And these numbers should be helping the Congress. And look at the numbers from Telangana. Again, a huge crash landing from 57 to 35 and then repairing up to 56. However, the bipoll results yesterday do not do justice to these numbers. So what we are looking at is a kind of repairing of Rahul Gandhi's numbers, the personal numbers, which went down between between the Lok Sabha election 2019 to 2022. There was a huge drop as far as Rahul Gandhi's ratings were concerned, but they seem to have repaired in these states. So down south, these are the 5 states that we have mapped, that the impact of the yatra right on the day of entry, or right after the exit of the yatra, as on today, and now that they have entered Maharashtra yesterday, Barkha. We'll keep an eye and see if the similar kind of trend continues or not. Maharashtra, by the way, where these numbers actually crashed down in 2022, by the way. You know, he
We'll ask you maybe to show that to us on our tracker, on your tracker in a moment. You can share screen and show it to us. But before I open this up, and Satyanji, you would be, I think, particularly interested in the next numbers I'm going to show. The same question then was asked in Gujarat. Remember, this is a yatra that has not gone to Gujarat. However, is it having a ripple effect? I think Yashwant, you used a very interesting word, the repairing of Rahul Gandhi's personal numbers. So, can we please bring up now the numbers from Gujarat? Take the banner off, please. Take the banner off. All right. There you see these numbers. There you see these numbers there. And Yashwant, I want you to actually tell us these very confusing
These
numbers.
yeah,
Yeah.
9th of September, 9th of September, 35%, and as on today, 38%. That is hardly a repair, Barkha. I mean, from a high of 53, even when BJP arguably won 26 out of 26 in Lok Sabha, probably I should also pull out the assembly election times Rahul Gandhi is rating over here in Gujarat. I will just try to see if I can pull out for you. But as far as I understand, they must be somewhere between 45 to 50%, even at that point of time. But this year, they really crashed before the Yatra. And we know why exactly they have crashed, because Congress has, for all practical reason, has kind of given up on Gujarat, it seems. For after the last assembly election, they just did not work on the ground as far as Gujarat was concerned. And after the Punjab election, Arvind Kejriwal's sole focus has been only and only on the Gujarat. And it is very, very logical, understandable, Barkha, that the guy is working on the ground, his numbers are going up.
Yeah.
This holds true about Rahul Gandhi as well as Arvind Kejriwal. So wherever Rahul Gandhi is working, his numbers are going up, and wherever Arvind Kejriwal is working, his numbers are going up.
So his numbers are definitely doing, his being Rahul in this case, numbers have definitely repaired more in the south than they have in Gujarat. That is the moti moti baat, as they say. I want to just quickly look at Himachal and then come to Satyanji for a sense from Gujarat. Same question asked in Himachal, and there you see, Yashwant, briefly, if you want to do this for us.
Gujarat, it did not repair, but in Himachal it has repaired for a simple reason. Aam Aadmi Party has given up on Himachal. You see, in the tracker where Aam Aadmi Party was almost crossing 12, 14, 15 points at point of time in Himachal, now they are crashing to about 3, 4. They have given up on Himachal. So that has given a surge, resurge of Congress of sort in Himachal Pradesh. So these are the similar kind of trends are applicable over there. So a lot depends on what kind of groundwork they are doing, and a lot depends on what kind of alternative forces are doing. I mean, which in this case is Arvind Kejriwal and Aam Aadmi Party.
Yeah. Yeah. So, okay, that's a fascinating overview. And as we go along in this program, we will also take you to the perceptions of the Prime Minister, the perceptions of Arvind Kejriwal. Have they been at all impacted by the Yatra? Have they been impacted by other factors? But let's open this up now. Broadly, what we have is Rahul Gandhi, the satisfaction with Rahul Gandhi improving just a margin from before he started the Yatra in Gujarat, improving a little more in the southern states where the Yatra actually went through and spent time. Satyaji, from Gujarat, I have asked you this before. Do you continue to see the Congress as the main contender, or do you see the Aam Aadmi Party now as a serious challenger? And I ask this because most recently, there was a very interesting video of a Congress legislator that went viral, where the Congress MLA is saying कि आपको हमारे लिए वोट नहीं देना, तो आप बीजेपी को वोट दे देना, लेकिन आम आदमी पार्टी को वोट नहीं देना. So seeing the Aam Aadmi Party as a kind of interloper. Satyaji, what would you say, especially looking at these numbers and what Yashwant calls a kind of slow repairing of Rahul Gandhi's political brand?
I was just looking at the numbers that Yashwantji was giving. They are very interesting numbers, but they don't show any changes or any paradigm shift in the way people look at Rahul Gandhi, especially in the state of Gujarat. And this is always supported with just recently, before 15 minutes, Mohan C. Rathwa, the senior most Congress member of Vidhan Sabha, has resigned from Indian National Congress. Now, this is happening off and on. The reason being is that people not only trust their leadership, they know that this is a Titanic which has been sinking since 27 years, and this is a time when it is going to draw down totally this time. Because the way they have worked for the
Mhm.
people is also a major question. Bharatiya Janata Party always believes that we need to work with in connection with the people for the people. And once this is done, and when you are connecting with them, and this is a 24/7 work, it cannot be elections or no elections, or any assembly election or parliament election. You have to be with people 24/7. You have to believe your leader. The As what I said earlier also, all 80 to 182 people who will be declared will be already, Bharatiya Janata Party has taken it up as Kamal candidates. We don't want to really get into ke bhai, who is going to contest, why is he going to contest. let the
But how do
let
you
the
see
parliamentary board.
do you see Gujarat as a triangular contest, or do you actually not consider the Aam
No,
Aadmi Party?
we
Because the Surat local elections do tell you that the Aam Aadmi Party is seeking to displace the Congress as the main opposition. Can we take the banner off? There you can see the Surat numbers. Satyanji, go ahead.
No, we always believe that Gujarat has been a bipolar elections system. Congress is, yes, one of the competitor for us. We don't even take up as our competitor because we know that they
Hmm.
are just playing around on the social media. They are just making a lot of hue and cry about issues which they are not able to. For us, Kejriwal has a solution for everything in this world except his own state. So that's what we believe. We only understand that it's a bipolar election. Congress is a competitor to us, but we are going to perform landslide this time also.
And that is a very interesting 2 points from you. One is that you see it as bipolar. You do not take the Aam Aadmi Party seriously, at least not right now. And two, you call the Congress a Titanic that has been sinking for 27 years. And indeed, so far, the Sea Voter Tracker does not show a perceptible change for Rahul Gandhi on the ground in Gujarat. Meeta, your response. Can we unmute Meeta,
Think,
please?
yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, Meeta. Yeah.
Okay. First of all, coming back to Bharat Jodo Yatra, as we all know that Bharat Jodo Yatra's objective was to fight against the economic inequality, the social and communal inequality that we see because of the growing religious polarization, and to fight against this over centralization. Right? We want a level playing field for all political opponents. We do not want misuse of institutes, etc. The objective of this yatra was definitely not to just work on Rahul Gandhiji's image or on Congress's image. But of course, we are a political organization, and we do hope that in the long run, we will get benefit. And even if I have to go by the data that you had just shown in your tracker, it's heartening. It's good to see that there had been a big improvement. If you just take the data from 1st of January 2022 or the data just before the yatra and compare that with the data after the yatra, then we see in some of the states there had been a jump of as much as 20% plus in the popularity. Now, bear in mind that one yatra cannot be a one-stop solution for all problems. It is just a yatra to fight against three forms of inequality that has been very, very clearly stated. We want to set the political narrative. We want to get the
But
discussion
how do
back
you how do you
to
do that,
issues.
Meeta? Meeta, people may ask, how do you do that without actually winning elections? You see,
Of course,
you're not activists, you're politicians. You
Of
have
course,
to
winning
yeah.
election is a very important part of electoral politics, and that has to be taken into consideration. Hence, we are giving our best in Himachal Pradesh. We are very confident there. We are also working hard in Gujarat, and we will wait. Even in 2017, we were written off, and we did give a very close contest in Gujarat. And it's
Okay.
good to know that my colleague from BJP does consider this to be a bipolar contest between Congress and BJP in the state of Gujarat. And even if I go with the Gujarat data, we see that there has been an increase from
Yeah, let's take the
35.2% to
Gujarat slide. Pull up the
38.3%.
let's pull up the Gujarat slide again. Go ahead, Meeta, quickly, and then I want to go
Yes,
to
so
Shruti.
there
Yeah.
has been an increase there, though the yatra has not even gone there. And you see that there was an increase from before the yatra to the after the yatra about Rahul Gandhi's perception. But again, I go back that this yatra's objective is not to increase the popularity of one political leader from our organization. If that happens, excellent. But the Yatra's objective is obviously to set the political narrative right, to get the conversation back to issues of price rise, inflation, unemployment, today's economy, today's SME sector, which is suffering, to get
Okay.
the narrative back to communal polarization and hate. As Rahul Gandhi ji said, that BJP is representative of an emotion of hate and fear, and we are
Let, let
talking about confrontation of that fear.
let me get Shruti and Varun quickly, because I do want to. We just lost Satyajit there. I'm sure he'll reconnect. I just do want to also look at other questions that Yashwant Tracker has asked. Indeed, about who's the preferred candidate for prime minister. Is there a change overall in an all India basis? And what is the? No, okay. I wasn't going to bring up those slides, but since we have them on the screen, let's go through them. Yashwant, if you want to just take us, this is the preferred candidate for Prime Minister in Gujarat. You want to just take us through this, and I'll come to Shruti right after. Yeah.
They pulled out these numbers just to see if the personal ratings are making any difference in the comparative ratings as well. And unfortunately, not much is moving. I mean, I understand. I mean, a low of 9.7 to 13.5, that is still a repairing of almost 4%. Barkha, I agree that, but this is nowhere near to his high of 13%. On the other hand, Gujarat, you look at Kejriwal's number. The guy who was not even 2%, 1.8%, say, a couple of years back, this year we started around 9%. His numbers are almost 17, 18% right now over there. As a prime ministerial candidate, top of the mind recall. We asked two different questions, Barkha. One is
Yeah.
who is top of the mind recall? Give us one name that you want to see as the prime minister. Another question is a director, what we call in US term as two-horse race, where we ask between Rahul Gandhi and Narendra Modi, whom do you wish to see as the prime minister? So both the things are there. So in Gujarat, you can see that Arvind Kejriwal has used that opportunity or the vacuum to fill up that vacuum over there. Somehow, at that number, his numbers are not really dwindling down at this point.
And I want to go back to those slides a little later, so let's not play them right now. I was actually wanting Shruti to come in on this question of what Yashwant calls a kind of gradual, incremental repairing of Rahul Gandhi, more effective in the south, where Yashwant draws an old-fashioned connection between where more time has been spent to, but there's of course a contradiction in Himachal. He hasn't gone there, but those numbers have increased for Rahul. But there, Yashwant makes the point that Arvind Kejriwal has given up on that fight. Shruti, your overall sense of what's going on with these numbers?
Thank you. It's great to see this new C voter survey so kind of fine-tuned to the Yatra. So first and foremost, I don't think this is a day-long story or a 1 month-long story. I do think that this is a watershed moment for the Congress and for India's opposition. It's a reset moment for Indian politics. So you're not going to see overnight. I'm actually even surprised at the bumps that they have got up in Karnataka, because I do think it's a slow burner. While I think it has generated headlines for Rahul Gandhi, I do think that the work that it's going to have to do is much slower, longer, deeper, for the kind of national hegemony to counter that Prime Minister Modi at the moment enjoys. That cannot be done overnight. And this is where I think Kejriwal is absolutely mistaken as a political operator. He might capture ratings for now. The kind of political capacity needed for a momentum against fighting the Modi mandate, the kind of work required is very, very different. And I think that's what Bharat Jodo Yatra is on. So I think that's all good. I disagree with the BJP spokesperson who said that this is not a three-horse race in Gujarat. C voter surveys have already said that that Congress and AAP are at the same peg at 21%. So I think that's just kind of wrong. It would be wrong for even the Congress to not see not smell the coffee for what it is, and I think that's going to be the question. I think, having said that, I do think Kejriwal is kind of he's doing a Banaras on Gujarat, which how he went in 2019 to Banaras to sort of counter himself, put himself up, hoist himself up against Modi, because Gujarat is a prestige state for the Modi government. But I think that I think will not really play out. They will only act as spoiler, because if Kejriwal is trying to project himself as the face of the opposition for the next election, and I think that's really what's at stake. And I don't think that's going to work, even if the numbers are low at the moment for Rahul Gandhi. It is incredibly clear that the Bharat Jodo Yatra has now actually showed up that this will be the political opposition. Ideologically, this is going to be the political opposition. And
Okay.
because I've been arguing that the Aam Aadmi Party does not offer an ideological opposition to Hindutva, it is only pluralizing the votes. So it's going
Okay.
to have a very difficult run. It might gain. It has the kind of the kind of beginner's luck in Gujarat, if I might use that term from gambling. But I don't see it actually has the capacity. It has audacity in huge buckets, but it has no capacity to form what you need, which is an opposition to the Modi mandate, which looks like it's not getting dented anytime soon.
That's a very important point, that last point on the Prime Minister's own popularity. And what I want to do, Satyanji, is again have the preferred choice of candidate for Prime Minister, the question we asked in Gujarat. And then at a glance, also, we look at where Prime Minister and Rahul Gandhi stack up in different perceptions. So, can we please bring up the Gujarat graphics on the preferred choice for PM candidate? The Gujarat graphics, please, if we can actually have a look there. Satyanji, you had missed these numbers. You will look at, this is the question that the Sea Voter Tracker asked about the Prime Minister's popularity, which pretty much more or less holds. In fact, it increases from before the Lok Sabha elections for the Prime Minister to today. This is in Gujarat. And then the same question was, of course, asked for Rahul Gandhi and Arvind Kejriwal as well. And here you actually see a marginal dip, Yashwant, from 1st January to today for Rahul Gandhi. But look at before the Yatra, he was at 9.7%. So just before the Yatra to now, there is a very sort of a small increase. And then we asked the same question, rather, Sea Voter asked the same question for Arvind Kejriwal. And there you actually see a slight dip from right before the Yatra. This need not be connected to the Yatra. It could be connected to many other factors. Anger in Delhi over pollution. We don't know, which has a ripple effect in Gujarat. We don't know. Can we come out of this and do a take at a glance, just the at a glance overall graphic on preferred candidate for Prime Minister? And this is sort of how it stacks up in the Gujarat context. I want Satyanji to respond, but Yashwant, you have a brief comment to make on this. Yashwant, can we first get Yashwant and then Satyan? Unmute Yashwant, please. Yashwant, you're muted at your side. Please unmute yourself. Yashwant,
All
you're
right.
muted.
All right.
Yeah.
Very quickly, Barkha, before you go and talk to, you see, even Gujarat or in Himachal, where Arvind Kejriwal has given up the fight, Rahul Gandhi is 9% and 67%. So personal satisfaction rating are good, but you have to put in the right context of comparison when you see a 2-horse or 3-horse race over there. And that is where it is important to understand. On couple of things, I totally agree with Professor Kapila, because yes, she is right that Congress has hit the reboot button. However, I somehow disagree with her as far as, yes, I agree that AAP doesn't have the kind of network or infrastructure to capitalize on what it is doing. But, their growth story in Punjab, for example, is looks like that they always have a two-stage kind of a plan. Two-stage, first they go in to capture the main opposition space. Like in Delhi, they did in 2013 and 2015, they swept in. Then like in Punjab, they went in for becoming the main opposition 5 years back. Now they swept in. So I think Arvind Kejriwal is not at all focused on winning Gujarat. All he wants to do is to put up a point that we are the option to fight the BJP. Now, with ideology or without ideology, that is a different debate question. What I generally believe for sure, that somehow he mixes the opportunism and the opportunistic ideology, whatever it is, but electorally it works. So we are discussing these ratings with the question of
Absolutely.
sustainability.
Can I bring up one more slide and then Satyanji, which is the overall popularity, all India preferred candidate for Prime Minister? Here, this was only a comparison between Prime Minister and Mr. Gandhi. Now, as of today, 60%. This is the all India perception of the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister continues to have literally untrammeled, in fact, rising personal popularity per the Sea Voter tracker. So this is extremely important. And now, how does the same question stack up for Rahul Gandhi? Marginal improvement from 1st January 2022, but actually a dip. This is confusing to me before the Lok Sabha to today. I want Satyan ji to come in, and then we can take this around the panel. Mrs. Satyan, please go ahead.
Barkha, this was, by the way, two horse race question. The question that we raised, it is not for all the candidates. It is only comparison of between Rahul Gandhi and Narendra Modi.
And so it tells you that when pitched against the Prime Minister leads.
Numbers are double than his numbers. Yes.
Prime Minister's personal popularity, personal ratings continue to be double that of Rahul Gandhi. And this is as of today. So this is after the Yatra. Satyanji, go ahead. Prime Minister's popularity double that of Rahul Gandhi.
There is no question on the popularity of Honorable Narendra Bhai Modi on this, because not only in the country of India but all across the world also. You must have seen so many pictures, so many countries where he visit. He has a popularity of being international mass leader for the country. And that has shown in the results also. We have seen India, Russia-Ukraine war, where for 6 hours the entire war was stopped. This has never happened. At least I have never heard something like this. And this is what a true leader for a country should be. Where when he talks with a lot of conviction. He talks eye into eye. The decision that he takes is absolutely for the pro people, sidelining any personal mandates in the country, and that's what's make him so much popular. The way he works, the way he delivers is again something which all the others look upon to him. The way he narrates is one more additional point that I would like to discuss. So all these things makes him a world leader, not even the leader of India. Yashwantji's figure are showing figures for India in reference to Gujarat and other states, but I would claim him as an international leader from the country.
There are, of course, differing political, ideological views on this, but I think, as Yashwant said, I know Shruti, Meeta, you both want to speak. We are here to look at what the numbers tell us, and we have to look at the numbers. Satyaji, sorry, sir, you're trying to say something? You have to go? Can we unmute Satyanji?
Yeah.
Yeah, sir. What did you say? You have to go? I think you're getting up to leave. You have to go. Okay. We'll say thank you to Satyanji. Yes, thanks, Satyanji. Thanks. Let's bring in Varun. Varun, you and your network connection. I think there should be a CVAT voter tracker just on Varun's network connection, but it will always have the same result. It never works. Let me see if you can speak and hear me. Please go ahead, Varun, with your thoughts. Okay.
So, I hope you can hear me. Okay. So I was saying, and I was speaking to a few people. I was speaking to a few people over here who are with Rahul Gandhi right now in Nanded and all those other places, and they told me categorically that what exactly they see right now is the Congress is managing things very well right now. They are, and Congress is very good at media management. At least Ashok Chauhan's constituency, where they are right now, Ashok Chauhan is taking care of everything from tent to what is to be given to a media person, and the audiences are also happy with it, because right now the Bharat Jodo Yatra is in a Congress stronghold, but as it moves in Akola, Amravati, and all those areas, you would be able to see. And when it goes to Jalgaon, which is a BJP stronghold, where we have had ministers in the past, we will see that it may fade a bit. And as you rightly pointed out, some ground, that is what Rahul Gandhi has gained, but not going to Gujarat will cost him a lot, because I was speaking to leaders who are working right now in Gujarat, and they tell me that in Gujarat they have got to the Panna Pramukh, Booth Pramukh, and we may not see a huge hangama happening in Gujarat right now at the top level. But in Gujarat, what they are doing is they are micromanaging. Their leaders are visiting every house. Each leader or each party worker has been given 5 houses which they have to go. They are visiting them thrice a day 5 times in a week, and they are doing things over there, and they do not see Aam Aadmi Party as
Okay, Varun is literally one of our most challenging guests. But I think the point he got in was that right now the Bharat Jodo Yatra is going through Congress strongholds. This, of course, we're looking at pictures of Arvind Kejriwal, and I'm quite curious. That segues me into Yashwant. I had a question for you, and sorry, Meeta, I know you've had your hand up. I just had one question briefly for Yashwant to clarify on Arvind Kejriwal, but let me get reactions from Meeta and Shruti first. Meeta, go ahead. Meeta?
We were talking about PM Modi's personal popularity, and the colleague from BJP spoke about how he has been popular in the international community. Well, we know that very recently we had Bharat Jodo Yatra both in London as well as in New York City, being taken up by sections of overseas Congress supporters and like-minded people. So yes, there is a section in the global community as well that feels the need of uniting India against divisive politics of hatred of BJP and RSS.
But how do you see these numbers, Meeta? I saw your hand go up when we were looking at the preferred candidate. Can we take an at a glance, that graphic again on the at a glance prime? Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
I want to make a very quick distinction that even in 2019, where the BJP-led NDA performed very well, they got about 37% of the votes. So this popularity of over 50% did not really necessarily translate into organizational votes for the BJP and the Alliance Party. So about 63% of Indian population actually voted for opposition parties opposing the politics of BJP and BJP's alliance partners. Congress, even in 2019, which was one of its worst performances, got about 20% of the votes. So if you look at the organizational base, it is not always, the votes are not always a reflection of a person's individual popularity. It is a person's individual popularity plus the organizational base, plus the manifesto, plus the policies, plus how you are affecting people's day-to-day life. So translating a 50% plus popularity, even if I take this data as the right reflection, which I'm not sure as how to authenticate this, even if in that case it did not necessarily translate to votes, even if you take 2019 Lok Sabha results as an example. So if you talk about Congress, about Rahul Gandhi having a low popularity remark, but if you take a proportion of that and if you translate to the vote share that Congress had in 2019, which was about 20%, it does not necessarily correlate. There's a huge difference between the popularity figure and the vote share of these two political organizations.
Okay. All right. Let me ask Dr. Shruti Kapila to add her perspective to this. So one is, of course, personal perception. Shruti, go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, I can't add to what has been said, but I want to actually return to what actually Yashwant was saying earlier. And I do think that I'm not saying that this is not a three-way entry. I do think it's a three-way entry in Gujarat. You're quite right that this is the same modus operandi. You work with opposition weakness and then you take over, which is what happened in Punjab. But Punjab and Gujarat are not the same, because that's an absolute critical difference. I mean, it was a walkover for the Aam Aadmi Party for all sorts of reasons in Punjab, which will not be the case in Gujarat, and therefore the Gujarat election is primarily a Kejriwal trying to kind of rise himself as the leader of the opposition face. That's really what he's playing at. He really doesn't have a winning chance in Gujarat, and he may become a contender, which is why I do think, unlike the Congress spokesperson, I do think the Aam Aadmi Party poses a major problem for the Congress.
Can I ask you a question, Shruti?
It will have to be vigilant, especially where its structures are weak, where such as in Gujarat. Having said that, I also think that the Bharat Jodo Yatra has done more than anyone expected, including critics such as Barkha, who are willing to even look at it now, because actually the media has been pretty, blank on Rahul Gandhi, and as a way he has actually forced a new conversation in Indian politics, which is required, whether people want to admit to it fully or not. The numbers will come and they will go, because this is, as I said, a long haul. After all, even for Prime Minister Modi, it took almost 15 years to get this mandate. This was not a mandate won overnight. And
I have a question for you, Shruti.
my final point is, beyond Modi, the BJP faces a crisis. You can see what is happening in the Himachal unit. You can see what is happening in the UP unit. And so fine, Prime Minister, there's no point me saying he's not popular. He's absolutely popular.
Can I separate these 2 points? The UP unit, I actually see Yogi Adityanath emerging as a national contender for that number 2 position in the BJP. But yes, we have seen states like Uttarakhand where the chief minister is voted out, but the government is voted in entirely on Modi's popularity. Shruti, I had a different question for you. You had a piece in the print recently where you argued that Gujarat has 2 faces of Hindutva. Rahul Gandhi is the only political opposition to it. You included Arvind Kejriwal as a second face of Hindutva. Yeah. But as Yashwant said, ideologically, one can be this way, that way, another way. But if that ideology works at the hustings, what does the political opposition to it do? Right? And many people will say, you have said the Bharat Jodo Yatra has forced the critics in the media to stand up and take notice. But those critics continue to ask, why is this Yatra not in Gujarat? So ideological opposition is one thing, but without power, it doesn't have effectiveness in politics.
I mean, the thing is, there are 2 questions in there, which is why I unlike the Congress spokesperson, do think the Aam Aadmi Party poses a challenge to the Congress, particularly to the Congress. It does not pose any challenge to the BJP in Gujarat at all. It really is posing a direct existential challenge to the Congress. To the Congress. But I think this, as I said, is a slow remaking. This cannot. I mean, India is going through a major identity churning. This is why it is not unstrategic of the Congress to start in the South. The Hindu first idea might be a winning idea in the North heartlands of India, also including in certain pockets of Western India, where actually, of course, the BJP, in Maharashtra, that they're being pretty pragmatic. And they're going with the Shiv Sena. I mean, the erstwhile Shiv Sena, the Congress. So I think it's, and Kejriwal has muddied the waters. Kejriwal's ideological positioning has muddied the waters in terms of saying, well, I can also play the Hindutva card. Remember, he was all about civic consumerism, get me the bills down. And suddenly we are hearing about, Lakshmi ji and Ganesh ji on Indian rupee. You cannot dismiss these things. These are not just cynical remarks. These are campaigning remarks. Now, that Indians will decide. Right? I'm no one to decide. That Indians will decide if they want to live in a Hindu first society. And I tell you, that will be a churning, because I have looked at the history of India, and at the height of partition, at the height of massive polarization on the Hindu-Muslim question, this idea was rejected in India precisely because vast swathes of Indians and vast swathes of Hindus have nothing to do with it. Okay. And I'm not just talking about myself. I'm talking about Southern India. I'm talking about Eastern India.
So I find your idea intriguing. Sorry,
you take out Uttar Pradesh, you take out Gujarat, you take out and we'll see what happens in Himachal.
Your argument is a very interesting argument that the South first emphasis of the Yatra could be because it is the space where you can counter or you can even bystep, because the Hindu first narrative doesn't exist in the same way in the politics. Very interesting thought there. Very interesting argument.
My final point is, it didn't go to Gujarat. I mean, the Congress person will decide why. I mean, I don't know why they didn't go to
Gujarat. Sure. But I'm saying critics are raising this question.
The issue really is that they're going from strength. They're moving from strength because the South is their strength, and then they'll see what happens.
Okay, Yashwant, while we're on Maharashtra, which is where the Yatra is, I know you have a current live tracker on it. So if you can just share your screen and tell us what Maharashtra looks like at the moment, where, of course, you've had this post-poll sort of BJP Shiv Sena government now, the Eknath Shinde Sena.
Yeah, basically, the data on this particular graphic is updated till November 3, Barkha, and we are in November 8, so it's that one. But we'll know, I mean, the data will get updated. But all I want to just say that, the territory where Rahul Gandhi is entering now from here onward is the territory where he is going to face the challenges. The red line of not being satisfied at all. And if you see the last lines of satisfied to some extent, roughly about 20, and very much satisfied about 15. So basically, we are looking at a 35% approval, I mean, satisfaction rating for Rahul Gandhi in Maharashtra, approximately before the yatra has started right
Yeah.
now. We'll see if these numbers jump and we go anywhere similar kind of jump that we have seen in case of southern India. That would be a litmus test. But I want to add a couple of things what Shruti said actually. You see, I understand that probably cardoning off South first, because Congress sees that, okay, this is our territory, this is where Hindutva doesn't enter, and like that. Uh, I don't really see South as a whole. If you are going to consider only Kerala and Tamil Nadu as a South, then it might hold true. But in Tamil Nadu also, we know the politics of DMK and ADMK has been switching. The moment DMK any given day decides that enough is enough and we are joining NDA, and they have been an NDA partner in the past. ADMK
Yes.
has been an NDA partner in the past. So Congress, all these numbers that actually Congress or Rahul Gandhi ji enjoys in Tamil Nadu, they are, we know, practically speaking, they are the DMK approval rating number or Stalin's approval rating numbers. I mean, no, I'm with due respect, I'm just talking about the real politics on the ground. And with the bypoll results in Telangana yesterday, if that is any indicator, I
Yeah.
see JP doing precisely to Congress what Kejriwal is doing to Congress in Gujarat, that replacing the Congress as the principal opposition to the TRS. I mean, for the last series of the bypoll and the way these people work, and I can see kind of a maybe a trend that Telangana could be the second saffron state in the south in near future, whenever 5 years down the lane, 10 years down the lane, 2 years down the lane. I'm not telling it, but yes, they have arrived in Telangana, and Telangana was a state where they had arrived in 1998, Barkha. I mean, very few, because 99 was the election where everybody was focused on, but it was way back in 98 when BJP polled 20% votes all alone in the United Andhra Pradesh, and they polled almost 30% votes in the Telangana region. So that is a territory where they will enter, no doubt about that. However, I don't know whether Congress continues with Shruti very passionately speaks about the ideological ground to stick on to and take this fight onward, or whether they would like to proceed with some kind of electorally sustainable policy for all practical reasons. The area where Rahul Gandhi ji has entered right now in Maharashtra, he is entering that with full support of Shiv Sena.
I think
Now,
I think I think that's a very sorry. You want to briefly complete? Mita's been waiting, so just complete your point,
yeah,
Yashwant.
yeah, I mean, I think the south of India and the north of India, these are two definitely different territories. I concede that, but even in the south of India's Shruti, I think beyond Karnataka and Maharashtra, Telangana is probably the state where these people might be
Very
having very solid
Yeah,
impact.
yeah. No, I think the Munugore bypoll and the Congress coming down to number 3, the BJP in number 2, Mita. Also, of course, people would point out that amid this yatra, as our graphics just showed, the Congress did draw an electoral blank in all of these 7 seats of these recent bypolls. Adhampur, you had the Bishnoi switching sides. In Munugode, you had the MLA switching sides, in fact, to the BJP, but the TRS still managed to hold on. And to that extent, the electoral question, the political question is that ideological opposition may be a compelling point, but it needs to translate into electoral success. And if it doesn't, will the Congress even continue to follow that ideological narrative? We don't know. The Congress in the past, in the last few years, has also flirted with versions of I won't say Hindutva, but a kind of soft Hindutva, not like demanding Lakshmi on currency notes, but certainly very visible temple runs, certainly referencing Rahul Gandhi's Janayu. We have seen anxiety in the Congress. We've seen the A.K. Antony report after one of the defeats saying the party is perceived to be anti-Hindu. These are all very real in life questions for the Congress. Meeta?
Okay. So if the Congress party has survived since 1885 for the past 135 years, it's because we have stayed true to our ideology of secularism, of inclusiveness, of social justice, of something that we believe in. And I think yes, electoral victories are very important. We have seen a lot of victories in the past. Yes, we have not been in our best form in the recent past. I do acknowledge that. And yes, we need to fight. And this is what we are doing. When we say that Bharat Jodo Yatra has been a reset moment in Indian politics and in the politics of Congress, then this is exactly what we are trying to do: rebuild the organization, as well as set out a political narrative for the entire nation to follow. Now, when we talk about ideological commitment, I think it's very important that we stay true to our ideological path. Yes, there will be electoral alliances. So, for example, in Maharashtra, when we talk about the Shiv Sena Uddhav Thackeray fraction, we talk about NCP and Congress coming together. That's a formidable alliance. Yes, despite the bypoll result, in Bihar, when we talk about RJD and JDU and Congress coming together, if you just go by electoral mathematics, if you just go by arithmetic, that is a very formidable alliance against the BJP. And all of this will have to be taken into consideration for the 2024 elections. So yes, electoral alliances will be a very important part in 2024 elections.
Well,
we have to do it pragmatically, but not by compromising with our ideological stand. We are not going to do that. So in Bharat Jodo Yatra, while we talk about price rise and unemployment being at a record high, while we talk about economic inequality, where India ranks at 107th position in Global Hunger Index, we are also equally emphasizing on social harmony. We are also talking against the religious polarization, about uniting India, because that is the ideology that we represent, and we are not going to stay away from our ideological standpoint, because without ideology, a political organization could not have survived for 135 years, could not have reinvented itself time again.
Thank you, Meeta. I'm going to get a last comment from Shruti and then just close with Yashwant on his latest actual polling numbers from the state of Gujarat, the ABP Sea Voter Survey. But Shruti, I do have a question on ideology. I mean, we have seen a degree of ideological confusion within the Congress ranks. Even today, there are Congress supporters, one sort of set of Congress supporters who say the party sometimes veers too far to the left. Those images we saw, for example, of Mr. Bhushan walking with Rahul Gandhi are interesting. If we can play them again, Mr. Bhushan at one point and Yogendra Yadav were trenchant critics of the Congress. Yogendra Yadav at one point had famously said the Congress needs to die before a new opposition can come up. So we are seeing a kind of return to the fold, that Congress big tent idea that used to exist post-independence. In this big tent idea, if this ideology that you speak about, the ideological opposition, doesn't yield results, will we be back to that A.K. Antony kind of anxiety that the party is seen to be anti-Hindu?
Okay, so very quickly, I actually think, as I said in my piece, I actually think Rahul Gandhi should not have forgiven the people who were handmaidens to Hindutva and who had actually ushered in the Aam Aadmi Party. I meant Prashant Bhushan. He really should not have shared space. He's too forgiving for my liking. And this is where I think actually the pragmatism that one likes to see in politics is at a, I wouldn't say is deficient, but will have to be boned up if you're going to want to win. So the kind of a political nous and pragmatism that has been shown in Maharashtra by the Congress, those kinds of things are going to have to be replicated across the country, like whether it is JDU, for it to have a winning chance. Because what it's looking like to me in 2024 is that it is going to be triangular in each state. You are going to have a populist or a regional party, TRS, whatever, SP, whatever, BJP and INC, perhaps not in UP, but elsewhere. The identity crisis is really for Aam Aadmi Party. Is it a national party? Is it a regional party? Is it BJP light? What is it? Whereas you can't say that about the TRS. You cannot say that about Mamata. These people are or DMK, which doesn't mean that they don't pose challenges to the Congress. But this triangular story has always been regional. And now you have this story with, as I said, it's Kejriwal who's muddying the waters, both for himself, but also for for the Indian National Congress. As far as ideology is concerned, I think the problem is not so much how you oppose Hindutva. The problem is that Hindu nationalism and Hindutva today is quite extreme. In the sense, you're asking for UCC in state elections. You are asking for you have kind of ratcheted up a base, a Hindu base, which is ultimately 30-35% only. It's a Trump model. If you're going to go down the Trump model, you have to know that India is much more mediated and diversified, both in terms of caste, class, region, you name it, than America. So I actually don't think we should be handing over all the kind of positives to the BJP simply because Modi is strong. The BJP has serious structural difficulties, and it's not simply about North versus South or Vindhyas versus non-Vindhyas. It really is, India's politics is mediated by these regional parties, these other local aspirations, and you have now a contender in Aam Aadmi Party, and the Indian National Congress is on a reset. It is not the Indian National Congress of 2015, which could just be walked over.
Can I conclude with just two sets of graphics? Very, very passionate interventions from both the Congress spokeswoman and Dr. Shruti Kapila. But returning sort of to the cold truth of the numbers of course change. That's why there's a tracker. This is the take the banner off. This is the at a glance perception in Gujarat over who's the preferred candidate for Prime Minister. And you will see that actually Arvind Kejriwal, at a glance as of today, is slightly ahead of Rahul Gandhi. And this is how it looks in Himachal, where Rahul Gandhi is actually ahead of Arvind Kejriwal. In both cases, the Prime Minister is handsomely ahead in perception. So that is what the numbers say. Secondly, Yashwant, as we conclude with you, I would like you also, we couldn't get those numbers from you that day, to look at your latest opinion poll from which you did with ABP. Banner off, please. There you see, this is now what you're forecasting at this point in terms of seats and vote share in Gujarat. And the Aam Aadmi Party, if it does actually get those numbers, then it is actually following that two-stage model that you were talking about. So I want you to just tell us about these numbers in the end, Yashwant. Yashwant, you're on mute. Yeah, there. Go ahead.
These are the numbers from the tracker that we did for ABP, about 15 days back. And now it will be updated again. However, there is very interesting thing that in this particular tracker, Aam Aadmi Party breached the 20% mark. And this is where I say, once any party breaches the 20% mark, they are no more vote katwa, as a vote spoiler, if whatever people say in that way. And another interesting set of data is what Shruti actually quoted. Shruti, that was CSDS. And by the way, CSDS is the only other set of numbers in India which I really respectfully consider that, giving it. And their numbers are even more damning than our numbers, because they have actually shown AAP and Congress both around 21-22% each. So that is a very, very
Can we just look at the numbers again, Yashwant? I just wanted that breaching the 20% mark for the Aam Aadmi Party is a very important point, right? Because as you said, it can no longer be called a spoiler.
In our tracker at that point of time, Barkha, Congress, you can see, is still about 9% ahead of the Aam Aadmi Party in Gujarat. It's still the second party. But in CSDS numbers, the Congress numbers have actually gone further down. And it is at par with Aam Aadmi Party, and BJP numbers are actually further up and with a little bit spike in the others. So, yes, I need to see which point of time, and compare that. But they do a damn job as well. Very serious research guys, Dr. Sanjay Kumar and everybody over there in CSDS, all the colleagues over there. We have been working and we are sharing the notes and everything. So what I feel that if these numbers over the next 1 month, Barkha, if they crosses 25% and Congress comes below 25%, so there are two things which are going to happen. Even with BJP around 45-46%, just by virtue of a vertical split in the opposition vote, BJP is probably going to see an all-time high. Whether or not they will beat the Congress record of 1985, I'm not going
Madhav Singh Solanki record.
Record. But they are certainly going to cross their all-time high. Numerically speaking, that's pure arithmetic. However, what would be the headline, Barkha, the next day? I mean, can you imagine Congress ceding that ground to Aam Aadmi Party and that not making a headline? I think, this entire strategy of securing your strongholds first might be correct if the Congress strategists have already decided that in 24 we should only be focusing on our strongholds.
Yashwant,
And
briefly, we have the CSDS data just to have a comparison. If we can bring it up, I think I should bring it up. That's the CSDS data where you actually see a swing of 22% for the Aam Aadmi Party, which is, I think, the point that you were making, and you can see that swing away from the Congress. So I think that's what Yashwant.
And they have actually shown Aam Aadmi Party 1% ahead of the Congress, Barkha.
That's right. That's right.
And Congress BJP number are 47. So what you can take in that BJP would be somewhere between 45 to 50%, and if the rest of the opposition vote is a vertical split, then we are looking at anywhere like north of 2/3, 3/4 kind of a majority in terms of seat share. Generally, these kind of gaps yield to very, very one-sided, lopsided seat shares.
Okay.
But the question is beyond Gujarat, Barkha. Question is beyond Gujarat. Yes, this yatra is bringing in the numbers. As you remember, Neerja said to you and me both that no yatra in India has ever gone without giving any. We never wasted. So obviously these numbers are showing that the yatra is giving numbers, but these numbers are at best, in my conservative estimate, a repairing of Rahul Gandhi's territory, repairing of the Congress territory, and just confirming the grip for the 2024 for the majority of the seats, that 54 that Congress won in 2019. But beyond that, the real territory starts yesterday. And this is where the question of taking the fight forward will start.
Okay, we have to close there. It has been a riveting 1 hour with varied opinions, varied perspectives. Thank you, Dr. Kapila, to Ms. Chakrabarti, and to Yashwant in particular. This is really invaluable data, and I'm sure the tracker will continue to profile this yatra. It doesn't end here. It doesn't even end with the Gujarat elections, irrespective of what happens. And the numbers are a great education. So thank you, and earlier thank you to Satyanji and Varun, and to our audience. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow.
It's great to see you here. Thank you for watching our work. If you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to click the bell icon and subscribe to Mojo Story and support independent, robust journalism.